What's up, you NIO investors and moneymakers? Welcome back to the channel. NIO was down 0.41%. We are still slightly down after hours. Many of you asked me what happened to NIO, why we were down, why did we saw all this red bearish sign for NIO. Come join, watch the full video because I am going to explain why NIO was down, whether or not we'll see the short squeeze. The short answer is yes, we are going to see the short squeeze because all the pointers are pointing to our short squeeze. So it is not out of the play. But before we see the short squeeze, a few things need to align. In other words, the stars need to align before we see the short squeeze. All the pointers are pointing towards bright future for the NIO stock. So what happened? Why NIO is down? What is going on? If you think about the short sellers, so FINRA short volume ratio was 46% today. Now, when we saw the volume of FINRA volume of close to 40 million, we had 18 million stocks were shorted, which is really low compared to yesterday. Yesterday, we saw 60% short volume ratio. A day before, we saw 63.94, so almost 64% short volume ratio. All of a sudden, we saw lower short volume ratio. That suggests that the short sellers are not really batting against NIO just at this price point, and all points towards NIO on the recovery road back to $15.50 within a day or so. There is a reason why it was down. Take a look what happened today. By the way, before we go ahead, I just wanted to ask you to hit the like button. We need 200 likes on this video so we can share this information with more and more people. There's a lot of FUD, fear, uncertainty, and doubt into the market, and we want to share and explain what is going on so people know. Stock sink after historic US credit rating downgrade. So what happened today was the US was downgraded from AAA or AAA to AA plus rating by a company called Fitch. US market fell Wednesday trading following the downgrade of US debt from the highest AAA or AAA rating to AA plus by Fitch. They cited a steady deterioration in standard governance as a major reason behind the decision on Tuesday. And happens what? A major sell-off led by technology sector followed, and NIO was not an exception. So if you think about NASDAQ was down. It has a ton of technology stock, or majority of the technology stock, as you know. Tech went down 2.17%. or 310 points. S&P was down 1.38. Dow Jones was down almost 1%. However, NIO was not that much down. NIO outperformed. I repeat myself again because that's the truth. NIO outperformed in today's market. Yes, we did go down. We did go to $13.67, but from there we quickly got back up to $14.76, and we're closed at $14.57, merely 0.41% down. Now, another thing you want to consider in today's market is world factory activity showing a lot of questions for growth in slowdown for China. So China is facing some of the issues with the factory growth and the way the production works out. So there are a lot of FUD, again, fear, uncertainty, and doubt for the Chinese stock. And again, think about Lucid, think about NIO, think about many other Chinese companies were all down today. Now, another thing you want to also consider is NIO was up 5% in last 5 days. 1 month, we are up 45%. 6 months, we are up 30%. But especially if you start looking from this price point, $7.41, right here, 107% spike. Just in a matter of month and a half. That's a massive run up. When you see a stock runs up 2x, 3x, 5x, there will be healthy correction. Honestly, I like the correction that we saw for NIO today because it was not a massive correction. Many times I saw there was a super strength in NIO, especially when it started going below $14 right here. We quickly saw a huge buying volume backing up the NIO price point, and for the majority of the time, we were above $14.40. That became our support. And again, we were close above this $40.60 price point. But our true support is $40.40. So once we started going up, we tried a couple of times, tested the boundaries, and then we started spiking up. So again, Are we going to see short squeeze? It is not out of the question yet. So I'll share with you why. So this is today's volume for the contracts. This option volume, that's the total number of option contracts that have been traded on the current trading session. So again, think about the today's trading session, what happened, and these options, by the way, are going to expire. NIO option volume, it is going to expire on August 4, 2023. If you think about the $15, we are seeing just this green, blue, or green, whatever the line is. You want to see it's a bigger line. So people are betting for $15 price point. Once NIO goes above $15, all these contracts, or the call options will be in the money. This is for $15.50. Think about $16. For $16, we are also seeing everything green or everything in terms of the call volume, which is again a pretty bullish sign. Think about another way right here. If you think about this chart that I can show you for 5 days because that makes a ton more sense. Right now, the moving average is right around where the price point is with the RSI of 48. That suggests not an overbought, not an oversold condition. I really like to see 48 RSI, and the way this chart works out, especially with the moving average, when a stock is 100% up just within 6 to 8 weeks. It is a very strong bullish indicator, and NIO is going to perform or outperform the market originally. If you think about the interest in search, right? A ton of people are searching for NIO, and this search term, NIO stock, right here, this is the search term, it is 100%. So there is a lot of buzz around NIO. And think about, this is not a meme stock. So this is not like Mullen or AMC or GME. This is a fundamental company that has a ton of data to back up. But once it starts short squeeze, the data does not matter, logic does not matter, because when the short selling pressure was high, the stock did not go down. But now when the shorts will be strapped, it will be a win-win situation. NIO announced the deliveries. There are over 20,000 vehicles, which is double than what we saw in the previous months, which is amazing because 20,000 deliveries shows that NIO is doing extremely well in terms of their deliveries. Their deliveries for ES6 exceeded 10,000 in July. Total deliveries 20,462 vehicle, which is an increase of 103.6% year over year. Many people have been talking about there is fundamentally NIO needs to go above and beyond $17-18. We have been talking about NIO can reach again all-time high more than $22 right here. 22.74 is the 52-week high. We can really surpass or cross this number and sustain there. NIO loses ground despite the excellent July delivery status. NIO trades around $15 on Tuesday, and July deliveries were 20,462. Again, remember 91% increase from June. This is again amazing data, even though with all that NIO is down. But I told you already that the short sellers are really not betting against NIO, and NIO stayed very strong in my honest opinion, because as of July 15, there were 116 million shares of NIO sold short with the value of $1.23 billion. And this is one of the major investors, a ton of major investors, they started selling. That represents a short interest as a percentage of 7.69%. Now, if you think about 7, 8, 9, 10, that is a very huge short interest. Generally, a short interest of 10% is highest or very high. Meanwhile, the short interest of 20% is extremely high, right? And we have seen that very close with NIO. Regardless of that, NIO stayed very strong in terms of the price point. They came up with a ton of great data that the market wants to see. If you think about NIO in general, we are seeing close to 1 million in volume after hours compared to NIO. So let's take a look. The change here. Today's downtrend, 0.41% for NIO. Let's take a look at the comparable stock, which is Lucid. Lucid was down 5.23%, which is 5x than NIO. Let's talk about Tesla. Tesla was down 2.67%. And NIO quickly got back up and running, and NIO outperformed the market. So again, to sum it up, if you really want to understand what happened, number one, today we saw that the stock market just did not really have a great day because of the rating in United States. Number two, we saw the sluggish growth in China, especially with the factory activities, and all the Chinese stocks suffered today, including all tech stock. NIO is, yes, it's an EV stock, electric vehicle, but regardless, it's part of the technology sector, and Nasdaq really likes NIO, and there is a ton of trading there. Number three you want to think about is NIO is up already 100%. So this is, in my personal opinion, is a healthy correction. Think about if anyone bought NIO around this price point of $7, they might want to book the profit. $10, they might want to book the profit because they're up 50%. So that is going to impact. Number four, you want to understand that there is a high short selling pressure. However, shorts are scared because now at least today they're 46% compared to what we saw in previous days, 60%, 64%, 45%, 63%, so on and so forth. All in all, this chart tells us a very good story, especially for one day. Take a look, 1457, we saw a really uptrend for the most part of the day after we went down to $13 and change. However, with that, we saw the 44 as our RSI. This is not an overbought, not an oversold condition. This is perfect RSI that I like to see. I hope this adds a ton more value. Oh, by the way, don't forget about the option. Options are doing pretty well. We saw that it's a uptrend move. I wanted to quickly show you this chart because this is in the money. The background with the blue background, that's in the money for the options that are the contract that are expiring on August 4. So we are a couple of days from this contract that are going to expire, right? So these are all the options, call options in the money. And again, don't forget, this is the volume and this is open interest. As we go higher, we have more open interest and we have more volume. That's a pretty bullish sign for a stock. Take a look. This is the value of the stock or the price of the stock, $14.50. We saw the interest 4,615, whereas volume was close to 12,000. If we go to $15, we see that the open interest is close to 20,000 and 21,000 is our volume. $15.50, we have 11,648, which is our open interest. 11,000 is the interest for $16, whereas our volume is also pretty healthy. If you think about the put option, the put is going down in terms of the open interest as the price point goes up, and that also suggests a bullish signal for NIO. Again, I hope you like this information. If you did enjoy the video, do hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, turn on the notification bell, write down your price prediction or price point that you want to see. Whether you think it's a short squeeze, it's going to happen, write down yes in the comment section below. Or if you don't, write down why do you think, so we can shed some light and share information with our viewers tomorrow. I'll get back to you tomorrow with more information. Until then, we'll see you tomorrow. Thanks. Bye.